Yo, guys, this is your boy Kofi with KO Sports Talk back at with another video. So today, guys, I got a special guest here, man. His name is Charles Miller, or aka Chuck Beats.
Chuck Beats.
Chuck
That's
Beats.
me.
So he's a big Chicago Bears fan, and so please show him some love. He's gonna be a regular guest on my channel. We're gonna be talking pretty much primarily Chicago sports, with Chicago Bears and NBA. But today's topic, we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears OTA, what's been going on so far. So, according to reports, Matt Eberflus, I guess, was talking about in his press conference, with Jalen Johnson, he was playing with the twos. He wasn't playing with the ones. And so a lot of people were very, very concerned with Jalen Johnson, whether it might be a conditioning or whether or not he's been playing up to speed. But there's been like a lot of reports about, Jalen Johnson. He's kind of been slacking off or whatever. But Chuck, what do you think about this so far? What's been going on with Jalen Johnson and what's been going on with the reports of him playing with the twos?
I haven't heard outside of Matt Eberflus's press conferences. I really haven't heard much of the rumors or the chatter going around about it. But I'm going with Coach Eberflus, and I got to get used to saying that, Coach Eberflus.
Yeah, I know Eberflus. Me too. I'm trying to get used to saying that.
Right. But pretty much from what he was saying, bro, he said it's really not much to read into. He said he doing a lot of crossbreeding with the ones and the twos, and sometimes he doing the threes in there. So I think what he's trying to do, he's trying to find a mix that can work with, that he can work with. Some coaches do it a traditional way. They just, rate the players and group them in accordance with how they perform in practice in the OTAs and all of that there. As to who's going to be the first string, second string, third string. He's trying to be a little, I gotta say, a little unorthodox with it. So he's kind of crossbreeding. And it makes sense to an extent, bro, because, injuries happen. It is the NFL. And so these players that's with the twos and the threes could be out there on the field at any moment. They got to know how to integrate themselves with the ones when they get out there. So, I don't really read a whole lot into that, bro. For Jalen Johnson, I think it's just one of them things where you just trying to see what you're working with.
I agree.
And if a situation arises with somebody, he ends up playing with somebody that's not in the ones, what can he do? Can he still
exactly? Yeah, I agree. I think like a lot of us, sometimes including me, I kind of read too much into it. But like I think. With Matt Eberflus, he wants to make sure that each player is getting pretty much acclimated, make sure their conditioning is up. It's not necessarily mean that he's a bad player. We know Jalen Johnson is a great player. He usually covers like some of like the best players in the NFL.
Yeah, and he can play the game, bro.
He definitely can play the game. And I know some people are looking at it as if like Jalen Johnson, as a motivational factor because, I think for the past 2 seasons, Jalen Johnson only has had one interception. And so I think Jalen Johnson, he's really got to get his interception numbers up because we know in Matt Eberflus's philosophy, his hits philosophy, it's all about takeaways, like hustling to the play, getting those interceptions. Like if you look with Matt Eberflus's past coaching experiences, like if you looked at some of the DBs, with let's say for one, Rocky Sin, like his interception ratio, I think in the past couple seasons, I think was 2 or 3, and he ended up getting cut, because he did not, get that type of level
at a high level, right?
He didn't get that level type of direction. So Matt Eberflus, he's kind of you can look at it as him challenging him, like trying to challenge him, to be better, and seeing, hey man, what can you do? I want to see more from you.
Well,
And so,
the thing that
mhm,
I see with that, bro, is that he doesn't want anybody
mhm,
to get comfortable, in terms
yeah,
of,
mhm,
their posture and their position on the team or what have you. They don't want nobody to think you are locked for the
mhm,
number one, the first string, the number one slot or whatever. He wants them to understand that his work and his competition.
mhm,
Whomever the best player is, whether that's you talent wise or somebody is outperforming you, who
mhm,
may not even be on that level of talent, but if they outperform you, this is who we're going to play. Now, let's just see if that translates to the actual game, bro.
mhm,
Because, a lot of times coaches do all that stuff in practices and OTAs. And then when it's game time, it's a
mhm.
whole different game plan.
It's a whole
A
different
lot of
beast.
times in Chicago, it's been my experience, bro. I've been seeing coaches constantly outsmart themselves. The game is not that hard, Cole. Real
Mhm,
talk. But sometimes coaches get into this thing where they overthink it, over processing, making too many moves, trying to make things, trying to fix things where they're not broken, trying to make things
mhm,
fit where they don't fit. So,
mhm,
so let's, I've never seen this guy in a head coaching position, and now that I'm finally past the whole
mhm.
family affair relationship with the organization, now that
I
I'm
know we
past
were
that,
talking about this off camera.
right? Right now that I'm kind of
Yeah, the whole
past that a
dynamic.
little bit, bro. Now I can kind of, sit back and really judge the man's,
Mhm,
coaching abilities,
mhm.
bro.
He's
But no,
been
I
doing
don't
this
think
for a
it's a
long
whole
time,
lot.
30 plus years, 30 plus years. So he ain't
Yeah,
no spring chicken.
yeah, exactly. And our organization, as wonderful as it is, they just don't tend to let coaches be coaches, bro. I don't know why that is, man. I'm hoping that changes with
Mhm,
this one.
mhm.
Yeah, so
And what do you think about like our two rookie DBs like Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon? They've been really impressing in OTAs. Like Matt Eberflus and like a lot of the coaching staff, they're talking about like how like these two guys, man, they've been getting to the ball, like they've been hustling plays. They've been
mhm.
making some interceptions within the 11 on 11s and the 7 on 7s.
Yeah. Well, I think the Bears we traditionally are
Mm-hmm,
very we're very strong at picking quality defensive players,
mm-hmm,
pretty much at every position. So they kind of fit the mold, bro, of what we
mm-hmm,
generally do. And
mm-hmm,
how we pick. How the Bears flow, how we operate. Um, uh, Everybody can shine in a rookie year, especially when you're a talent that's not known. Uh,
mm-hmm,
to me, it's always about the sophomore year, though, with the rookies.
mm-hmm,
I remember when Eddie Jackson first came on the scene, spectacular, bro. The dude was looking great out
mm-hmm.
there. And then all of a sudden, we forgot he was on the team a year later.
I know,
Right? so,
2019, right? They moved him to
you
strong
know,
safety.
Right. So I'm hoping that as impressive as they have been in the OTAs, that they continue to get stronger as the
Hmm.
year goes on, and I hope that their hunger doesn't dissipate. Because it's a lot to be said, bro, for winning and losing. When you're winning, your hunger will elevate. But
Hmm.
if you get into a mode where you get used to losing on a team, bro, and unfortunately a lot of our players have been through that, it's tough to manufacture the hunger. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
To keep the fire going, so to
Hmm.
speak. So yeah, they look great, bro. We want to see this keep going, bro. Want to see this keep going. Have to be honest though, bro. I need to go and check out more game film on them. I haven't seen
Right.
a whole lot on these
I'll
guys.
tell
So
you this: they're hard hitters. Like Jaquan
mhm.
Brisker, especially, he's more of like a hybrid safety slash linebacker. Like if you looked at his tape, like the
Mhm.
guy is like constantly, always at the ball. Like he's always calling lines at the scrimmage. He's telling like his players, okay, move to the side, move to this side, and it's like, man, like this guy. Sometimes he can come down, like he can play linebacker. He can come down. He be sacking his opponent, and
Okay.
like if you're in or around him, you do not want to do that because this guy, he hits so hard. Like I saw his tape at Penn State, especially like I don't know what
Uh,
it is, but like Bears, they love getting Penn State players First with Adrian Amos, he's
Oh
from Penn
yeah.
State.
Oh
Then
yeah.
they took
We
Quan
can Penn
Brisker.
State crazy
Like
over here, bro.
Penn State, they come out with a lot of good
Mhm.
products, especially with DBs. But this kid, Jaquan Brisker, he was projected to be like a first round draft pick. I don't even know
Mhm.
how he fell down to the second round, but this kid, like, he looks really, really good, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, you know, a lot of that is just, all based on teams' needs. You
hmm
know, they
hmm
don't necessarily think that this is the most important spot that they need to address in terms of needs. Then a lot of those players will drop. I
hmm
personally hope that lights a fire in him to where he
hmm
goes out there with something to prove
hmm
this year. Um, I've been hearing. I was looking at some videos and other podcasts, listening to some other podcasts, and I've been hearing some of the analysts say that this year is not going to be as bad as it looked for the
hmm
Bears. In terms of our schedule, they say we have a very weak schedule, probably one of the top 5 weakest schedules in the league or what have you. And a lot of analysts are saying we're going to get anywhere between 6.5 to 8 wins this year. Um, I don't know about that. The jury's
They ain't
still
getting no
out on
six.
that, but we'll see, man. We'll
Mhm.
see. I'm a diehard Bears fan, and I hope they shock my socks, bro. I really do, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't surprised if they win like 11 or 12 games. I'm just being
Really.
honest.
See,
Yeah.
now you talking like me. See, you can't ask me how many games the Bears are gonna
With
win.
this schedule,
I got a way to get us to 13 wins every year. So
with this schedule, I mean, I'm not really scared. I don't see
it's a
who on
cupcake
that
schedule.
schedule do you think like is gonna like head and shoulders is better than us? Like,
I mean, the first 2 games, those pretty tough for us, bro, coming in, especially with a whole new regime for all intents and
but with
purposes.
Trey Lance starting, like, come on, like Trey Lance.
Yeah, bro. But did you see Trey Lance play when he played last year? Very accurate, bro. Very accurate. Now,
Yeah.
the Eberflus defense, it'll get a chance to get showcased if it's going to be as good as prescribed prescribed.
Mm-hmm.
Because that the style that he plays is going to test you. The style that the 49ers play in is going to test you. That's a very physical style of offense that they run. A lot of run plays for the running back. If they still got Deebo Samuel in the mix, you got that different dynamic there. And Trey Lance,
That's if
he
he
was
plays.
very he
That's if
was
he
very
plays.
accurate, bro.
That's
Trey
if
Lance was very accurate for the little time that he was in there last year.
mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's part of the reason why the 49ers were okay with moving away from Jimmy Garoppolo, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance, he showed him something. I think that dude is going to be the real deal, bro. So don't underestimate him, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But yeah,
but
that one, and then week 2. I think we get past those first 2, bro. I think we can start to string some wins together.
that's gonna be key. Those first 2 games, those two games are gonna be key, man. Very, very, very key, man.
I mean, I don't know that if they are going to key anything for us, they definitely could be a standard, a measuring stick to
Mm-hmm.
show us where we're at and how much further we got to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Whether we're
don't
going to
really
be a
have us
playoff
winning.
team or just a mediocre or just a crap team, a lottery team.
Right. Well, you know what? I don't even think that we're necessarily a crap team. We are below average the way I see us right now. But are we the worst in the NFL? Heck no. With the Jaguars out here and
With the
Jets
Houston
out
Texans,
here.
come on.
Oh yeah, bro. We far from the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So next topic. Who do you think, right? So who do you think, right, is going to be like the most important players for this upcoming season? Who's your top 3? It could be any position, defensive line or offensive line. But coming into this upcoming 2022 season, 2020, like 2021, 2022, or 2022, 2023?
2022, 2023.
2022. Oh my God.
Right.
2023. Who do you think is going to be your 3 most important position players this upcoming season?
Well, without a doubt, Justin Fields is going to be number 1 on the list for me. Player development is the thing we've been screaming in Chicago for the last year. with the whole Justin Fields situation. And he's got a year under his belt now. He's got some playing experience.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see, where he progresses to.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears are going to rise and fall with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to rise and fall. I
Mm-hmm.
personally think that the sun is up when Justin Fields is on the field, bro. He is the
Mm-hmm.
man. I love his skill set, his talent. He's very smart, bro, and he's an accurate thrower, contrary to popular belief. Justin Fields can be very accurate. I think that is going to be key for the Bears. Whomever we end up with at the left guard, I think is going to be the next key position for us. It's going to be the next key player for us because you got to protect this guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep him upright, Kofi. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
have him getting sacked 32, 42, 52 times, however many times they got sacked last year. It's ridiculous numbers, bro. That dude's
so who's our left guard? Was it Dakota Dozier?
Is it Dozier?
I think it is.
Dozier.
Oh God, I do not want him.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Oh Lord,
that's what I'm saying. He's going to be vitally important. With the number 3, you can kind of jump. You can go just about anywhere with this. Defensively, I think Robert Quinn needs to try to match or get close to what he did last year and become a vocal leader on the defensive end. We need that. You can look at Roquan Smith. He could be easily number 3 over there, because the defense is going to have to lock down to give Justin Fields and this offense time to jail. But if I'm just going from the offensive perspective, and maybe this is my bias talking, I like David Montgomery, bro. I think David Montgomery coming out that backfield is going to be quintessential. He's going to balance the offense, the offensive attack that Justin Fields is able to carry out. And the only way he's going to be able to carry that out, he's got to have balance in the run game, bro. And I think David Montgomery can definitely anchor that load. He can anchor that load. Right. Honorable mention to Darnell Mooney too.
I actually was going to mention it. He is actually one of my top 3, Darnell Mooney. Okay. But I think my first one, of course, is Justin Fields. I don't know if we can include coaches on here, but I think with the pairing of Justin Fields and Luke Getsy, that's definitely going to be important because Luke Getsy, he's going to be a first-time offensive play caller, and he's going to bring that kind of that Kyle Shanahan / that run zone scheming offense to this team. That's what he ran with Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead.
Before you finish your list, bro, let me ask you this. When you look at Getsy, do you see a dude who's got the potential to bring us this explosive offense, or do you see a guy who's just got a name because of the guy he came from under, like an Aaron Rodgers? Or, you know what I mean?
I mean,
because I feel like as a Bears man, I feel like we got duped by that with Matt Nagy, bro. Because he came from under the Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, not the Patrick Mahomes, but the whole Kansas City Chiefs regime, and the fool's gold there was that he could take us next level. When the truth of the matter is, he couldn't.
He didn't do it.
That was Andy Reid, and he just had a job, bro.
Right. And I mean, because the thing about, even with what's his name, like with Matt Nagy, he wasn't even calling plays, and of course Luke Getsy. Like he wasn't even calling plays. It was just mostly the head coach. I think it was the head coach who was calling mostly the plays. Matt LaFleur or whatever.
Yeah,
Matt LaFleur. And so, that's why I said, like, I think this is really going to be important because he's definitely going to be an unknown. We're not too sure what we're going to expect from Luke Getsy. I pray to God he's not like Matt Nagy. He won't like.
Why is that always the path for us? Why we don't know?
That's why it's so vital.
We get never, man. It's crazy to me.
That's why it's so vital because Luke Getsy, it's important for him and Justin to develop a relationship because even with Matt Nagy, him and Mitchell Trubisky, like after that breakout season Mitchell Trubisky had in 2018, like there were reports, after the 2018 season, Mitchell Trubisky wanted to get together with Matt Nagy to discuss what can we do to make the offensive better. And Matt Nagy, he just pretty much just brushed him off, like completely just brushed him off. And
Brush off your starting
you're
quarterback.
brushed off your starting quarterback like that, who played, who had a Pro Bowl year.
Exactly.
The first quarterback to be a Pro Bowler since Jim McMahon, and you just like kind of just brushed off because you think, oh man, he's not my quarterback or whatever, or he's not the type of quarterback that I wanted. And so it's very important that Luke Getsy, he develops that strong bond with Justin Fields, because we don't want no type of strain. We don't want no type of strife or whatever in this locker room. And I think this is really going to be important. This is going to be a tall tale sign, of how far they come, because of course this is OTAs, this is voluntary, mini camp. And so it's all going to hinge on whether or not Luke Getsy can develop a good relationship, with Justin Fields, develop that type of cohesiveness with each other. That's one.
Right.
One of the reasons why it's going to be important. The second reason, the second most important player or positional player, of course, is Roquan Smith. I think Roquan Smith, with him leading this whole defense, he's going to be the veteran because he's been in the league for quite a while. I think 4 or 5. This is going to be his 5th year coming, going into the league year. And it's also going to be a contract year. Of course, they're going to pay him. They have to pay him because he's one of the top linebackers in the NFL. And it's a shame for the past 2 seasons, like he's not been a first-team All-Pro. He's not a second-team All-Pro. He's a first-team All-Pro,
right?
In my opinion. And just the way that he just leads this defense is going to be very, very vital and very, very important, because he's a great coverage linebacker. He can call plays during the lines of scrimmage. He can identify certain types of plays that the offense is going to run. It's also going to be important, to get those takeaways, because we need those takeaways for our offense to succeed. We don't want those long sustained drives, even though it would be nice, having a good run game and having those good long sustained drives. But it's also very important, to get those takeaways so you can make it easier for Justin Fields and the offense to capitalize on their opponents.
Okay. And, so far you got Justin Fields with me
and Luke Getsy. Justin Fields and Luke Getsy is my first one. Roquan Smith is my second one. And my third one is Darnell Mooney. The third one is Darnell Mooney. We already know what Darnell Mooney did last year. He had pretty much a breakout season last year with over 1,000 yards, even when starting with 3 different quarterbacks: Nick Foles, Justin Fields, and Andy Dalton.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Darnell Mooney, he's not a number 1 receiver. He's not that good. He's not this. He's not that. But I think Darnell Mooney is going to use that chip on his shoulder to kind of use that field of the fire to do well this season, because I can't tell you how much of a connection it is for Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney. I think last year they had a very, very strong connection on most of their plays. I read a statistic. They accounted for at least 68% of their. Well, Justin Fields accounted for 68% of his targets towards Darnell Mooney, and Justin Fields, he didn't play the whole season, but if he played that whole season, Darnell Mooney would have had around 1,200. Around 1,200 to 1,300 yards. Yeah, and that's like all pro type numbers,
Absolutely.
So Darnell Mooney, he's really gonna have to step up this season and be that number 1 wide receiver, because everybody they're already sleeping on Darnell Mooney, and then the wide receiver spot. People are saying like, oh, the Bears, they don't have no good wide receivers. Darnell Mooney, he's too small. He's not big enough to be a wide receiver 1. Well, let me tell you this. Have you heard of Antonio Brown, my friend? Absolutely. The guy is 5 foot, about 5'10", about 180 pounds, and he's almost close to the same size as Darnell Mooney. So you're meaning to tell me that Darnell Mooney cannot be a wide receiver one, and we already know AB Antonio Brown is one of the greatest wide receivers from this past generation. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and he's a fifth round pick. He was a fifth round pick, if I'm not mistaken. And
Right.
Darnell Mooney is a fifth round pick. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for Darnell Mooney to have a better year than he had this past season. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see that, bro. But you know, I don't want to drink too much of the Kool-Aid now.
oh, I'm not
Look,
saying that. I'm not
look,
trying
bro.
to do that.
Listen, bro. I'm a Darnell Mooney fan. I love his talent.
Mm-hmm,
Explosive down the
mm-hmm,
field. Got great hands, bro. He runs excellent routes, what have you. But if I'm totally honest, I don't see him as a true number one. I do
mm-hmm,
see him as a high-ranking number two, but that mostly because the end routes where you need a receiver to catch in the trenches. You don't see Darnell do a lot of that. Now that's not saying he can't do it. You know,
mm-hmm.
he could possibly be an Antonio Brown type. But truth of the matter is that's really not his
He's
game.
not there yet.
He
Yeah.
a burner. He down the field, bro, and he's got exceptional speed, great route running, gets off the line exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm,
I still think that the jury is still out on in terms of who we're going to have as a number one. But for right now, by default, he definitely is our number one.
mm-hmm,
Even Justin Fields was speaking about this. Justin Fields says that we don't have a lot of talent at the wide receiver position, but what we got is we got quality players across the board. And I'm of the mindset with today's NFL, you don't necessarily need a traditional number one receiver to be successful with the receiving core. You can have a
mm-hmm.
lot of twos
Look at
and some
Kansas City.
slot
They don't got.
receivers.
They don't have a real tradition. I mean, Tyreek Hill. He's a monster. Tyreek Hill, but you
Yeah,
won't look at
freak of
him as a
nature, bro. I don't
traditional.
even
You wouldn't look
consider.
at him as a traditional number one wide receiver because
Yeah,
he's a burner. He's a burner.
yeah. He doesn't have the height. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the how can I say? He got great hands. I mean, it's just certain things about him that doesn't scream
He's not like
traditional number
an
one. But
impeccable like route runner, but he'll take the top off of defense. That's for sure. And he's a great
exactly,
yak. He's a great yak. Like yards
yes,
after the catch.
absolutely,
If he
absolutely.
gets the ball in his hands, if you give him the ball in his hands,
Uh-huh.
he's gonna know what he's gonna do with it. Like he's gonna burn you.
Now that there is what Darnell Mooney can bring to the table for the Bears. He can get
Mm-hmm,
a lot of yak, bro. Yards
mm-hmm,
after the catch. I've seen him
mm-hmm,
because that speed forces the defense to give him so much space. It creates
mm-hmm,
space, bro. So when he
mm-hmm,
gets that ball, he ain't got number room to run. And who's
mm-hmm,
catching him? That's what I
mm-hmm,
want to know. So
mm-hmm,
Darnell Mooney, I love him, bro. I love
mm-hmm,
him. In terms of Bears receivers, he definitely was our number one last year.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and also
Leave
Velus
that right
Jones,
there, bro. He was our
and
number one
also
last year.
Velus Jones as well. He's also great at the yards after the catch. From Tennessee. I looked at some of his tape. This guy, he's like just a shade under 6 feet tall. He's like
Mm-hmm.
210 pounds, 205 to 210. Built like a linebacker, but this guy he
Mm-hmm.
runs like a 4.31. Like I looked at a lot of his tape and like
I
man,
love that.
the way he was playing those SEC teams, he was taking the
Mm-hmm.
top off. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get the ball," and like he's like in the slot, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like once he gets the ball in his hands, it's like he's almost like a poor man's Debo Samuel. Like once he gets the ball in his hands, he's either gonna like burn you or he's gonna like freaking truck you like down like you're like a little rag doll or whatever. And he's gonna take you
I
down.
love that.
And like I was like, man, like I was kind of I during the draft, like I was kind of like mad, like why did we get this guy? I never heard of him. I never heard of Velus
Mm-hmm.
Jones. Like we could have gotten Tolbert or we could have gotten Pickens or whatever, but we
Right.
ended up with this guy. And then when
The
I saw
Bears,
his tape,
we always try to go get a lightning in the bottle type of guy. We want to
right,
get the guy that
we
nobody
want to
else
get the
is looking
super
at.
athletic big guy, built like
Yeah,
freaking Calvin Johnson type of guy.
right. But
Hmm.
I don't know why, we are not a fan of popular names when it comes to drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Some draft picks are no brainers to me, but the
Mm-hmm.
Bears never do the no brainer thing, bro. I don't know what it is. I think Justin Fields is like the first no brainer that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Lace him up in a Bears uniform, and oh God knows how many years. It's been a long time since we took a guy that
Mm-hmm.
was the high pick, the
Mm-hmm.
favorite at that position, the best talent, so to speak, at
Mm-hmm.
that position before
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields. So I don't know. That's just the Bears' MO, bro. It's the way we draft, and it doesn't matter the general manager that's in place. We always seem to draft like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell Trubisky,
Mm-hmm.
who? You know what I mean?
Who?
Right.
Who?
Well, here we go. This is the Bears. This is what we do. But yeah, Velus Jones, he does look. He looks very promising, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a battering ram, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Great speed.
Mm-hmm.
Good hands. And like you say, you can take the top off, bro. You can take the top off of defense.
Ran a 4.31. And like we got so much speed on our offense. Like we got Equinemius St. Brown, who's extremely fast. We got I can't even say his name. Byron Pringle from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, Byron Pringle. Yeah, Brian Pringle.
I think he was number 2, if I'm not mistaken, last year in yards of separation.
Yeah,
NFL. I think he was number 2, and that was
he got a lot of exposure last year too because of injuries in Kansas City, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we really got a chance to see what he's capable of. That dude can play. He can play the position.
He definitely can play.
Yeah,
and so
I contend that we got the wrong St. Brown too, bro. We should have got the St. Brown from Detroit. I like that guy.
I know the Lions got the right one. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
yeah. But I've heard some good things, from Packers fans about this St. Brown. He's not a complete wash. But, I've heard some good things about him.
But I was going to say,
fans. I don't know how much I can put into that.
Yeah. And so, anyways, transitioning to the next topic. Of course, I think we kind of touched a little bit about it, but with what's his name, Justin Fields defending his wide receivers, like saying that we don't have a Cooper Kupp, we don't have an Odell Beckham Jr., but we have enough wide receivers that's gonna learn the playbook, that's gonna learn what they're gonna do. So what do you think about that?
I respect Justin Fields' words. I think he's a realist when it comes to being a leader. He's a stand-up guy. I don't think Justin Fields would sell Bears fans any hoop dreams about what we have available. We're at a how can I say? We're at a nothing to lose type of situation this season with our offense, and so I don't really see a thing where Justin Fields has to sell us any lies about the capability of our offense. But I believe his words. I believe what he says is what we're going to see. We're going to see quality play from the wide receiver position. The cool thing for us is going to be by there not being a traditional number one, no one's going to be able to predict where he's going to go with the ball.
Right. And they're not going to target one particular receiver like last year when everybody was targeting Allen Robinson. Everybody knew, okay, Allen Robinson is the clear number 1.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't doing nothing no way, but
That's true.
that's just my thought, my assertions.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't doing much, but yeah, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of down the field passes that's going to come down there Mooney's way. Once he hits 3 or 4 explosive plays down the field, their defenses are going to try to key on him, and that's where the rest of these guys are going to come into play. Once they key there, then you're going to see what Byron Pringle and Velus Jones and all these other guys that we got on the squad, that what they're capable of. You're going to see what they're capable of. Now, do I expect any of them to be Pro Bowl caliber outside of Darnell Mooney? No, if I'm totally honest. But will we be able to get the job done and execute the offense with this receiving core? Absolutely. I believe we could, bro. I definitely believe we could. I like Justin Fields' words, man. He's just a soldier, bro. He's a soldier,
right, and he just resonates like leadership, man. Like if you hear the guy talk, like everybody like just like flocks to him. Like he's like that type of that guy that that you want to just that you just want to fight for or something like that. Like you
Absolutely.
just like run through a brick wall just for that type
Right.
of guy, and that's what we were missing. Like
Oh yeah.
that's what the Bears, they haven't had that type of leadership.
Yeah, well, that that
They,
was that was that was my gripe with Mitchell Trubisky all the time that he
mm-hmm,
was here. Mitch could
mm-hmm,
play the game. I thought he was a solid quarterback. He
mm-hmm,
was no slouch, but he was
mm-hmm,
not a leader of men. You have to be a
mm-hmm,
vocal leader, and
mm-hmm.
Mitch was not that. Not at
And
all.
definitely Jay Cutler wasn't no one. Like after that 2012 season, he's like, man, I don't give a crap.
Right. Yeah, and so
Oh
yeah,
man,
we
Jay
haven't had
Cutler
much
didn't
of
give
that.
no
So
crap.
yeah, we haven't had much leadership at the position. So it's refreshing to get the leadership.
Dude, I
Refreshing to
can't
get
even
that going.
remember if we ever had, man. As long as I've been a Bears fan, I can't even remember.
That's because you're a lot younger than I. Ah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know.
I remember the punky QB known as McMahon. When he hit
Hmm.
the turf, he's got no plan. I remember
Hmm.
all of that.
Yeah,
Jim
yeah.
McMahon was a great leader on the field, bro.
Hmm.
He was a great
Hmm.
leader on the field. So
Right, right.
so
But anyways, man, we're gonna transition into like the NBA.
yes,
What do you think? I'm pretty sure
Celtics.
you watched the conference finals
Yes, sir.
with the Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks, as well as the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Those were, especially the Boston Celtics and Miami Heat series. That was a crazy series.
Wasn't it though? That was way out, but I did not
Like they were
see
blowing
that
each
series.
other out. Like okay, like Miami blows them out and Celtics blows them out, and like
Mm-hmm.
it was like close scores. Like I think game 4, it was
Mm-hmm.
close at first, and then like Boston started to pull away, and then like
Right.
game 6, Jimmy Butler, he had that game of a lifetime.
Unbelievable game, bro. I personally thought it was over after game 5, bro. I
Mhm.
didn't see.
I thought it was over after game
Yeah,
5.
because Miami had so many injuries, bro. They were littered with injuries. They were a mesh ward, bro. I don't
Hmm.
even know how they managed to get it to a
Hmm.
7th game and have it as close as they did. But that just shows you the resiliency of that team, bro. That's a great team over there.
Yeah, that comes with great coaching. Eric Spoelstra, man, he's a very great
Mm-hmm.
coach, man. And you really got to give it up to him and this coaching staff.
Absolutely.
They played like really hard. They didn't even give up all the
Absolutely,
way to
bro.
the end, man. And you
Yeah,
got to give it up to Miami.
that's what you want to see your team have. You want to see your team have that kind of resilience. But I
Hmm.
will say this, Kofi.
Hmm.
I've been riding the Celtics bandwagon since the playoffs started.
Yep, they had the top defense. I think they had the number 1 defense this past season.
Yes, they did.
Hmm.
Yes, they
And
did have the
so,
number 1 defense. And the thing that makes me still believe that they're going to take it all is that they come at you in waves.
hmm.
Yes, that's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. These are the offensive weapons, premier offensive weapons that they got. But
Hmm.
bro, that team is hitting you from every angle with
Hmm.
shooters. It's every night it's somebody else
Hmm.
stepping up with numbers, bro. One
Hmm.
night is Grant Williams. He's got 7
He
3-pointers.
got 27 points, right?
Right. You
The
know what I
next
mean?
night it's Marcus Smart with
And he
24
got
points.
5 3-pointers and
The
killing
next
you.
night is Al Horford with 30 and
Yeah.
10.
God, did you see the job he did on the Greek Freak? Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
I love it, bro.
he's locked him
I
down,
love
man.
it. Me personally, I don't think the Golden State Warriors have been properly tested yet, bro, in
Hmm.
these playoffs. Dallas was an overachieving team.
Well,
Only
besides Memphis was giving them the business until what's his name went down, John Morant.
Memphis was hanging in there, but they
Mhm.
weren't. I can't really say.
They're too young. You're right. They're too inexperienced.
Yeah, they're deeper than Golden State. I like Memphis' squad. They're deeper, but they just there was too much inexperience over there. They didn't really have a seasoned veteran to get him that leadership going
Mhm.
into the thick of a war in the playoffs. And John Morant was doing everything he possibly could. It was just a matter of time before he broke down, though, bro. Because
Yeah,
everything's
he definitely
exposed
broke
to
down
the
after
hoop.
that dude touched his knee.
Yeah. A little cheating going on there, They don't want to
Jordan
call it
Poole.
that. It's in the thick of the playoff basketball. So, I mean, but I really don't think that Golden State has been tested properly, nor do I think they have enough. Wait for this. Yeah. to beat the
Mm-hmm.
Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I got people that's talking crazy to me about that right now, bro. But I just
Really?
don't think they got enough depth to beat the Boston Celtics.
And let's
Real
not
talk.
forget Boston Celtics. They got a lot more size than Golden State. they got
Yeah, they
they got a
do.
lot more
Every
size.
team has more size than Golden State. For some
Hmm.
reason, nobody wants to use their size against Golden State.
And definitely, Boston's definitely going to use your size. They're going to let them know, like, no, you're not going to like just come down the hole or whatever, or we're not going to like.
Mhm.
They're going to try to defend them from the perimeter because, like, Golden State, they kind of live and die by the three,
They
and
do.
so they live and
I
die
mean,
by the
don't get me wrong, bro. Golden State is exceptional. That's an exceptional offense. They play solid defense themselves. They got this boxing one defensive setup that they're playing and what have you, bro. And I
hmm
mean, it worked to perfection
hmm
against Luka Doncic, and I thought
hmm
it was pretty solid. I thought it
hmm
was pretty solid against the.
hmm
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
This guy stopped by to say hi, What is Gold
yeah,
Patch
yeah,
doing?
yeah. That's my nephew. That's my nephew. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, they're pretty solid, with the box at one defense. Golden State is a lethal force offensively. They can score from any angle. I
hmm
think what's being overlooked here is I think everybody's buying the folklore that is Golden State, the mystique. They this three-time NBA champion squad or what have you, and they've been on all these finals and what have you.
hmm
But people forget they're
Sixth
like,
time in 8 years, like the Bulls.
yeah, it's been a minute though since they've been there, bro. It's been a while since they've been there, and I think Golden State, uh, they definitely got the poise and the heart of a champion, but I think they're going to be overmatched going up
hmm
against the Boston Celtics. Like I
hmm
said, Boston comes at you in waves, man. They got guys
hmm
coming off the bench when
hmm
who was that with Marcus Smart went down with the
hmm
injury,
I think
game
it was
one, I
White.
believe it
I
was.
forgot his name. White. I gotta check and
Right,
see.
you got the little Pritchard dude. He's coming
Oh,
off the
Peyton
bench, a
Pritchard.
rookie.
Yeah,
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 he's
he was
shooting
good.
threes. And then this guy, I think his last name is Naismith. This dude's jumping out the gym. He blocking shots everywhere. Like, who is this
Right.
guy?
That's true.
So yeah, man. So yeah, So yeah, I just think uh, uh, the uh, the Celtics. I've been saying this for a couple of years now, bro. They're built for a championship run. Only thing they were ever missing was a commitment to defense, and they
Hmm.
finally did that this year. So to me, there's no way they can lose this, bro.
Right.
No way
I
they
just
can
got to
lose
give a
it.
shout out to my man, Micro Mike. Micro Mike. I know he's a Lions fan, so please go
Uh huh.
support my dude Micro Mike. But that guy, Micro Mike, he's been a real support. He helped me start my YouTube channel on. So I just want to give out the shout out to Micro Mike, bro. You're awesome, bro.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had to do that, but
yeah. Who you got
yeah,
winning this finals, bro?
I had Boston winning it. I
Okay.
have Boston winning it because, like I said, they can beat you in all different types of ways, and they're gonna defend the perimeter because they already know what Golden State's gonna do. They already know, what
Mm-hmm.
their what the game plan is. So they're gonna be hounding Stephen Curry. They're gonna be hounding a lot of their 3-point shooters because they're not gonna like allow them to shoot those threes. Because if they get into a hot streak when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to like that 3-pointer, then you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah. Well,
you're screwed.
the fool's goal that a lot of
Mm-hmm,
teams, I see a lot of teams fall for with Golden State, is they think that the only thing they got to do is eliminate the abundance of 3-point shots from Golden State. Not
mm-hmm,
necessarily true. If you watch Golden State play, bro, they get
mm-hmm,
into the mid range, bro, and they
mm-hmm,
beat a lot of people up right there with those mid range shots. They're just
mm-hmm.
not. I mean, they're very good at the three, but they're not only solely committed to the three, bro.
To the
Everybody
three
thinks that
makes
all
sense.
they want to do is shoot threes, shoot threes, shoot threes because they're so good at it. Now, Golden State has a great mid-range game, bro.
Mm-hmm,
They'll get inside the circle and they'll light you up, bro. I see
mm-hmm.
Steph do it. I see Klay Thompson do it all
Clay
the time.
Thompson do it.
And Jordan Poole is a
Sometimes
slasher
if
going
need
to the
be,
hoop
they'll take
part.
it to the hole.
Yeah, and I think they're going to miss Gary Payton Jr. sorely in this
Mm-hmm,
series, bro. the defense that dude brings, man, and he's got these monstrous dunks he can put down. Yeah, that's gonna be a sore spot. And I don't know, I'm not a Golden State Warriors man, but if I were, bro, I think I'd be a little angry at Draymond Green. And I'm tell you why I say that, bro. Draymond, to me, is the reason why Gary Payton Jr. is injured and out of these playoffs, especially when they need him. Why I say that is because in game 1 against Memphis, when Brandon Clark was going up for a layup, Draymond Green stole on the man with the right hand, pow, hit him in the face. The man fought through it and was going up for a layup, and then he pulled him down by his jersey with the left hand. And
wait, he pulled Gary Payton Jr.'s by his
no, Brandon Clark of the Memphis Grizzlies. He did this to Brandon Clark, but it kind of created that dynamic where the other team, the Memphis Grizzlies, was saying, "Oh, okay, so you want to beat up on our guy like this? You want to play dirty? Fine, no problem. We'll get our leg back." And the next game, what do? Gary Payton Jr. is going to the hole for a hard dunk. He gets the hard foul from I believe that was Brandon Clark that got him. He got the leg back, or Corey Dillon, one of them.
Corey Dillon, right? Or Dillon Brooks.
Yeah, Dillon Brooks. That's what I'm trying to say. Corey Dillon, my bad. Yeah, Dillon Brooks. He gave him the hard foul, and the man came down and he fractured his arm, bro. So to me, Draymond Green's at fault for that because that doesn't happen in game 2 if he don't do what he did in game 1. I think he hurt his team with that, bro.
He's been hurting his team like remember, especially in 2016. Like they could have won in 2016 if he didn't
Kofi said he was doing to LeBron,
rocked over LeBron and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was just. I mean, I get it that every team needs a tough guy who's hard nosed and want to get in there and mix it up. He's ready to rumble for the team, whatever. But
he ready to fight. He ready to box.
right. But you got to keep that within context. You can't do it to the detriment of your team.
Right.
And I think Draymond's at that point where he's doing that. He's hurting the team, bro.
Yeah,
he's hurting the team to me. But that's just my opinion on it. I personally like the way Draymond plays. I just think he needs to lose the antics, bro. If he trashes the antics, he can probably go down as one of the best small power forwards in history. He really could, bro. You're talking about a guy. He's got them looking at a stat I never even knew existed before.
Right, and he can play all 5 positions, man.
Yeah,
he can play all 5 positions.
Yeah, and he got them counting a 5x5 stat. I was like, what the heck is that when I first heard it? 5x5. But he gets stats across the boards. 5 here, 5 there, 5 everywhere.
But what's his name? Chris. Oh, what's his name? Chuck. I can't even say
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley, man. How am I forgetting Charles Barkley? He's
not a forgettable character.
I know. He always talks about Draymond Green, you're always getting triple singles. You're not that good.
Right, triple singles. A triple single.
Triple single guy. 5 points, 5 assists, 5 steals.
Oh yeah.
3
blocks.
Let
me ask you this, bro. Let me ask you this, Kofi. I was talking to one of my guys yesterday, man. It's my guy Slim. Shout out to Slim. He's up in Flint, Michigan. I was talking to him, and we were kind of debating the greatness of Steph Curry. Point guards all time. Where do you put Steph, bro? Is he the greatest point guard of all time? Is he in that conversation? I mean, if he's not the number one, who do you put him above? Who do you put him below? What do you have Steph at, bro?
Who, me? I have him as a top 10, but I don't have him as my top 5. Now, if he was a shooting guard,
okay.
If he was a shooting guard, then maybe that would be a different conversation because Steph Curry is more of a shooting guard to me than a point guard.
Okay.
Because a point guard, in order to be a point guard, you got to be somebody that pretty much just commands the team, that knows how to run the team, knowing different types of sets that's going to be run, certain type of play styles that's going to be run, that's going to get your team in position to score, and not only that, make your team just overall better. That's what a point guard is to me.
I mean, but Steph's he's very good at that, though, bro. He is very good at getting his team.
He is. But look at what happened last year. I mean, they barely made the play-in tournament. He's not going to be that type of player that's going to carry your team to like a number 1 seed or like a number 2 seed, and we saw that was evident. He's not that type of player. He's not that type of a point guard. He might be top 10, but like he ain't top 5 in my book. That's my humble opinion.
He's a 2-time league MVP, bro. So back-to-back league MVP. That's I don't know, man.
Look what happened when Clay went
down.
Look what happened when KD left. I mean, like if he's really that great, then your team should not be in a play-in tournament. Like I
wouldn't say that, bro. I mean, it's still a team sport at the end of the day, and one man is not an island. You can't be a one-man army in the NBA. I don't care how great a scorer you are, how fabulous you are at doing what you do. You still need help out there. Not only did you not have KD anymore, but you lost Klay Thompson for 2 years. You lost the Splash Brother, and that's big, bro. And what can you really depend on from Draymond Green other than a triple single?
Triple singles.
You can't get nothing more from him, bro.
No, man. Triple singles, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Steph was kind of the last couple of years. He kind of been on the island by himself, trying to carry the load. The most encouraging part for the Golden State Warriors is the development of players like Jordan Poole. I think Jordan Poole is exceptional, bro. I love that guy. He's going to be around a long time. And if Golden State is smart, they sign him long term, bro. Do not let this dude get away. No, he's not KD. He can't take KD's slot. But he does a lot of things that's beneficial to that team, bro. And he can get streaky and explosive with the scoring.
Oh, yeah, he can. He can get hot real quick.
Yeah, he can light it up. Real quick.
It's game over for you. I'm sorry. Like, you might as well pack your bags, drive home safely, BB. It's over.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of point guards all time, bro. Yeah, in terms of point guards all time, though, I don't think you can trump a Magic Johnson. I haven't seen a point guard that can put it all together like he can. And to your point about Draymond Green, Magic Johnson was able to play all 5 positions, bro. You know what I mean? So that just made him.
Magic Johnson did. Yeah, he did. He did.
Bro. It's incredible,
and
bro.
You go back to that 1980s NBA Finals, like when what's his name? Kareem went down. He had to play center. And he had that all-time historic game. What was it? Game 6.
42 points from the center position, bro.
15 like rebounds, like 8 or
with
7.
The Chief Robert Parrish sticking him. That is incredible, bro.
That is incredible, right? It is.
Yeah. But I know, I kind of categorize me personally. I kind of categorize Steph as the scoring point guard. So if I'm judging him or comparing him to all-time great point guards, I got to compare him to like an Allen Iverson. He's got to kind of fall in that category.
Yeah,
Ivo was phenomenal with his handles, king of the crossover dribble and all of that. But Steph is the most incredible 3-point shooter I've ever seen. So I don't know another dude. It doesn't matter.
There's a reason why he's one of the greatest shooters of all time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting final, bro. It's going to be an interesting final. I want to go with the Celtics in 6. But it's the Golden State Warriors, so we go 7. Won't surprise me. But I got money on the Celtics, bro. With Vegas, bro. We need this money. Come on, Boston. Come on.
Oh, we're gonna find out, man. We're gonna find out, man.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Well, I want to talk about one last thing before we go.
Yes,
like I know we were touching on KD and Steph Curry. So I know Steph. What's his name? Who is it? Stephen A. Smith. Was I guess they were talking about it on a panel, but people were debating like if Steph Curry gets one more ring, does this put him over KD in like all time, like in terms of like player, like just overall like broad spectrum in terms of like individual awards, just player proficiency? Does this put Steph Curry over Kevin Durant? Like
if we're going by individual awards, I mean, it'd be hard to argue against that. Yeah, it would if you go by individual awards. But if we're just talking about raw talent, no, bro. No.
KD,
bro. It's KD, man. He is a 6. What is he? 6'11"?
6'11", about 6'10",
freak of nature, bro.
Damn near 7 feet.
The man's a freak of nature, bro. He handling the ball like a point guard at 6'11", shooting similar to a Steph Curry from the
Mm-hmm.
outside with the perfect mid-range game. And it can be ferocious going to the hoop. How do you stop that, bro?
All I gotta say is look at what happened in 2017, man.
Uh,
Freaking like destroyed LeBron. Like, remember he did
of
that
course,
crossover?
of
He did like that
course.
crossover and then dunked
Yeah,
on him.
man. This dude, and you talk about a dude who can just dominate a game in the end. Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Durant is that dude, bro. He is not the most proficient player on defense, but when he decides to play it, you can't shoot over him. This
Mm-hmm.
dude is incredible.
You're not gonna shoot over him, man. He got that 7'5" long wingspan.
And don't get me wrong, bro. I don't want to take nothing from Steph. Steph's phenomenal. I love Steph Curry. He is going down as one of the greats of all time. So I'm not taking nothing from him. But when you're talking about comparing him to great players, bro, I mean, this is where the straws get short, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some players are just exceptional at what they do. Now, Steph in his own right is very exceptional at what he does with the 3-point shooting. I think he has, to put it like Chris Webber says, I think he handles the ball like Curly Neal from the Harlem Globetrotters at times. Steph can be phenomenal out there,
Mm-hmm.
but Steph's not taking over a game in big situations. I remember speaking about the championship that they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers after being up 3-1. I remember Kyrie Irving is decimating Steph for the next 4 games in that series. Next 3 games in that series.
But let's look at the 2015 finals, the first time they won a championship. Andre Iguodala won the finals MVP. Like, come on.
Right, exactly. You had Iguodala winning the finals MVP. You got KD winning the finals MVP. Where's Steph winning the finals MVP? Steph's not there. And that's no slight on him, bro. I love Steph Curry, but if you're talking grace, bro, he just not.
He ain't no KD, that's for sure.
Right.
He ain't taking
maybe
over
top
a game
10.
like KD.
Maybe top 10. You could put him maybe in the Isaiah Thomas category, but you're not putting him number 1 all time on the point guards. And we definitely not having this conversation about him better than KD. Sorry.
Top 5. Yeah.
Right. He's always had a better team overall than KD, if you ask me. Now that's debatable. Because some people will look at what KD had this year in Brooklyn and say that team was way more talented than the Golden State Warriors. But truth be told,
I beg to differ.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics would beg to differ too, seeing that they, swept these dudes.
I know, right? So I thought they were going to come back. Everybody was expecting the Boston to come back and beat them, but nope.
Yeah. Do you mean Brooklyn? Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. Yeah, Brooklyn. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I expected a 7-game series out of that series, but it never materialized. And then I think Kyrie Irving, he's got to be the most confused brother I have seen in the NBA. One day he praying to the east, next day he burning sage, next day, next day he fasting. I don't know what this dude do. What are you doing, bro? What are you, a ball player? You an activist? You religious zealot? What are you, bro? He all over the map.
You're a monk.
So yeah, but in fairness to KD, he can only do what he can do, bro. He can't play for other cats. Then you had James Harden over there, and James Harden wanted out.
That didn't work out too well.
Yeah, but I think Kyrie is the cog in the middle of that wheel that made all that happen because he's only playing half the games, and James didn't feel that it was right. We on the roll. We busting out about here playing together, but then when we get home, the instant KD go down, I'm stuck by myself. Why? Because James don't want to get a vaccination, bro. I mean, not James. I'm sorry. Kyrie doesn't want to get a vaccination. So that's a problem, So James wanted out. And then he got to where he wanted to be, quote unquote, in Philadelphia and disappeared on them. James Harden is the biggest disappointment to me of the last season, bro. I mean, I don't care how talented you are, you have to give full effort, bro. And he doesn't do that, bro. He just doesn't. That's a topic for another time.
But anyway, I'm going to end this live stream. But, man, I appreciate you, Charles, for coming on.
Yes,
and just giving your intake, talking Chicago Bears and NBA Finals.
Got it too, my brother. I appreciate you for having me, man.
Oh, no problem, man. You're always welcome to come, man. If you want to be a regular, a regular host, we could probably talk, off air, probably just trying
Definitely.
to set something up,
Yeah,
because
we can work it out, bro.
yeah, I know YouTube, like a lot of like these sports content, they get a lot of sponsorships, and all that. So that would be really, really great. But
Yeah.
anyways, man, like I'm just gonna end this stream, guys. But
Mhm.
thank you guys for coming on. I'd like to thank my guest Charles for coming on talking sports, talking NBA, and talking Chicago Bears. But stay tuned, guys, for more videos and more content. I'm gonna probably be making another video probably tomorrow, talking a little bit more about the Bears and also giving you my predictions for who's gonna win the NBA finals. But anyway, guys, this is your boy Kofi with KO Sports Talk with my guest. Oh, this way. I'm sorry. My boy Chuck. So I'll catch you guys later and peace. All right,
All
guys.
right, bro.
All right.